You aren't struggling with intuition. You're just overlooking the way that it speaks to you. In this video, I will share the 4 hidden languages that intuition uses so that you can finally understand how yours is speaking to you. And by the end, you will be able to spot an intuitive hit based on your personalized language the moment it happens. Hey there, if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. My name's Julia, and I help people reconnect with their inner wisdom and learn to trust their intuitive voice. If you have not watched the first 3 videos of the series, this is actually part 4 of my 5-part intuition series. I highly recommend you start with the first 3 videos because they lay the foundation for really trusting and understanding your intuition. Before we go deeper, let's pause and take a deep breath. Now think of a time that you had an intuitive hit. Just trust whatever comes up for you. When this happened, did you visualize what your intuition was telling you to do at that moment? Or did you experience a physical feeling in your body? Or perhaps did you just know the answer? Or did you hear something? Your response helps determine which intuitive language or clair is most dominant for you. There are 4 clairs that represent the 4 main languages of intuition. First, I'll share signs that correlate with each clair so that you can start noticing which clairs feel most familiar to you. Then we'll review how to strengthen your intuitive channel based on which clair is strongest for you. Something to note, you may connect with multiple of the clairs, which is totally normal. But once you identify the top 1 or 2, it's so much easier to strengthen your intuitive connection. Listening to these signs and practices of each clair is likely to answer many of your questions about intuition, just like it did for me. Now, listen up for my list of the signs for the first clair. You often visualize things with your mind. You enjoy guided visualizations. When making a decision, you like to see the different options. You see metaphors or visual symbols connected to people or situations. You might receive guidance or messages through dreams symbolism. If this one resonates, then you have clairvoyance, also known as clear seeing. So your intuition speaks through images, symbols, colors, and mental visuals that show you different possibilities or next steps. Okay, on to the second clair, which is one of the top 2 of the most common clairs. You feel emotions deeply and relate to being an empath. You sense things in your body like a knot in your stomach when something feels off. Or if something resonates, you feel chills or a grounded, open feeling. You might also feel other people's emotions or physical sensations in your own body. If this one resonates, then clairsentience or clear feeling is one of your main channels, meaning your intuition communicates through sensations in your body, such as feeling expansive and open, or feeling contractive, or even energetic nudges. Next, we have the third clair, which is one of the top 2 most common as well. You instantly know the right decision before you can even explain why. You sometimes have an internal yes or no feeling that often overrides overthinking. You channel information and receive downloads. And sometimes when you speak, wisdom just flows through you. Also with this clair, sometimes ideas drop in like flashes, and if you don't catch them, they just vanish. This is claircognizance or clear knowing. If this resonated, then this is likely one of your strongest. And this intuition arrives as an instant insight without often logical explanation, and it shows up as a calm, just immediate knowing. All right, and now we have our last list of signs, and this one is super interesting, so listen up. You are deeply connected to music, sound, or vibration. You receive messages through lyrics or repeated phrases. You occasionally hear high-pitched tones with no medical cause. You've heard an inner voice guiding you before. And these people might talk to themselves, of course, in a generally healthy way. This is called clairaudience or clear seeing. Your intuition comes through inner words, tone, or sound cues, often heard as subtle guidance. I'm not gonna lie, I started my intuition journey without knowing the clairs, but once I did learn about them, it all really clicked for me, which is why I learned them earlier. When you learn how your intuition naturally speaks through you, every decision gets way less confusing. And if the concept of clairs or the names themselves sound a bit mystical to you, I get that. But just think of the clairs as different ways that your brain and body processes information. And remember that everyone has access to their intuition. It's just really about learning the specific ways that your intuition is speaking to you to gain that trust in yourself and confidence to take action in life the way that feels most aligned for you. Now, here's the fun part. Once you know your strongest clairs, you'll want to learn the best ways to strengthen each clair or your personalized intuitive channel. So next I'm sharing a few well-known ways for each clair to do so. For clairvoyance, which is the clear seeing, just as a reminder, future self visualizations are incredibly beneficial, as well as crossroads visualization. What I mean by that is when you are faced with a decision, visualize each option and notice what option seems more clear to you. Keep in mind for all of these practices that I'm going to go through for all of the clairs, it takes practice and it's very likely that you won't get immediate clarity upon your first attempt. But this takes patience and strengthening that intuitive muscle. The second practice for clairvoyance is dream and simple journaling. It'll be really beneficial not only to log your dreams, but to jot down colors, symbols, or flashes of imagery during your dreams soon after waking. As well for clairvoyance, asking for visual signs to tune in to what your intuition is trying to tell you is incredibly beneficial and effective. So an example of this is setting an intention, like show me a symbol this week that means yes. Like show me a pink flamingo if this is aligned for me. And then see what pops up throughout that week. These practices help sharpen your inner imagery and help you recognize intuitive visuals more easily. Next up is clairsentience. So clairsentience is the clear feeling. It's incredibly beneficial for clairsentience to do daily body check-ins, even if it's just for 1 to 2 minutes. Pause, close your eyes, and notice any tension in your body, openness, warmth, expansion. As well for decision making. Before committing to something, tune in and take note of whether your body feels expansive and open or maybe tight and contracted. Heart coherence meditations are also incredibly beneficial for clairsentience. I do have one version on my channel, so you can check that out, but there are also lots of others around the internet. As well, daily movement, that's important for everyone, but especially important for clairsentience to help clear that emotional and energetic clutter. And clairsentience must also keep in mind in general that they often need time alone to process because other people's energy can really cloud their signals. For claircognizance, which is a clear knowing and also one of my top 2 clairs, the first practice I have is journaling, specifically first thought, best thought journaling, or something similar to this. This is where you ask a question to your guides, highest self, and write the very first sentence that comes through to you. Similarly, I'm not going to explain it, but automatic writing, look into it if you aren't familiar, but that's highly beneficial. As well, just stream of consciousness speaking. Just letting the wisdom flow through you without censoring. This is, believe it or not, I didn't realize it at first, but a way to tune into your intuition. Lastly, for claircognizance, I highly recommend keeping an intuition log. I would recommend this actually for any of the clairs, but since for claircognizance, the language is more subtle and there's less sensory evidence that you can hold on to, a log is especially beneficial for claircognizance. If you're clairaudient or clear hearing, then it's so important to keep in mind that silence is key. Being able to sit in silence creates space for your intuitive messages to come through. As well, just mindful silence where you're sitting quietly and noticing any tones, phrases, or words that come up internally is also a great practice. If you're clairaudient, speaking decisions out loud by saying, option A is blank, option B is blank, and pay attention to which one feels truer in tone. Also, track reoccurring lyrics or phrases. If a lyric or sentence keeps popping up, write it down and reflect on what this message might mean for you. So now you know the hidden language that your intuition speaks to you, whether it's images, sensations, an inner knowing, or sounds. Once you truly understand how your intuition communicates, hearing it and trusting it becomes so much easier. I would love to hear in the comments which clairs resonated most with you and whether you have any questions about the content I covered here. In the next video in this series, which is also the last video for the intuition series, we will talk about truly embodying your intuition by integrating it into everyday decisions and also higher impact decisions. Following your intuition is really the key to start living a life that feels truly made for you. And in the meantime, here is another video that I think you'll like. And if you want to keep exploring self-love and spirituality with me, I would love for you to subscribe and join me in rebuilding self-trust and living a more purposeful life.